Ciao a tutti and welcome to Venice Talks, a podcast series about Venice in Italy. My name is Monica Cesarato and I am a Venetian food and travel blogger. I'm going to put my insider knowledge at your disposal to help you discover Venice at 360 degrees. Each week, I will be chatting to the people who really matter, the Venetian. So follow me on the discovery of its artisans, writers, fashion designers, artists, glassmakers, bloggers, and much, much more. Come to visit Venice the right and sustainable way. You can find me on my blog www.monicacesarato.com and also on all social media. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to Venice Talks, episode number 5. Hello everybody, welcome back to Venice Talks, and today my special guest is Romena Brugnerotto, tour leader and travel consultant from Venice. Hello Romena, how are you?
Hi, Monica. Nice to nice to listen to you. How are you?
Oh, busy. So, you got to know, guys, that Romena, as well as being a tour leader in Venice, organizes tours of various sorts and organizing also events and being a travel consultant. She's also a cinema and a book appassionado. I mean, she really loves anything to do with cinema and anything to do with books. Am I right?
Yes, it's true. Also, I have to tell you that before we had this conversation, I just finished a new book. So,
Oh, that's good. Listen, put the microphone a bit nearer because you keep breaking up.
okay.
Okay, so let's talk about cinema first of all, because when this episode is going to be aired, it's going to be at the end of the film festival. At the moment, though, as we are talking, me and you, there is a Venice Film Festival. Did you manage to go and see any films?
Yes, for me, it's a little tradition that I have to go with to go to the Lido with some friends to see a movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so like last Sunday we go there and we watch a movie that was pretty interesting. The name was Monica. So because it was,
Okay, no, that's it. That's it.
yeah.
That's my film, then. Okay, I need to go and watch that.
Yeah, and then so we were happy because you see when you in the Lido there is the movie festival, everybody's there, so
Mm-hmm.
there is the red carpet, a lot of music, a lot of events. So it's nice to go there in that moment, even if you
The,
don't choose the film that you love, but
uh-huh.
it's an experience.
Did you get to see anybody famous?
Not at all, because it was pretty early. It was around 6. No, it was around 5:30.
Okay.
Normally, the red carpet is around 6:30. So there were people try
Okay.
to see someone because it was the day when Penelope Cruz was there.
Ah, gosh, and I know you
Uh,
love her. She's one of your favorite actresses. Okay.
yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah. Was there a lot of people around?
Yes, it was full of people, and you know the first weekend, so
Mm-hmm.
Saturday and Sunday, is the most important moment because also on Sunday there was also the historical regatta in Venice.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that a lot of people that decided to come into the city and do both, so to do the historical
Mm-hmm.
regatta, the movie festival, and go around also for see some of the part of the Biennale.
Mm-hmm. Um, have you got any idea who could win or not?
No, I'm not following so deep the situation.
Ah,
so
okay.
so the movie I saw was in a sort of collateral event, so it was
Okay.
not on the primary competition.
Okay.
And I'm not reading so much about that, so I know
Mm-hmm.
prevision.
Okay. Logistically speaking, let's give some information to the people. So for next year, if they want to come, you can go and watch the movies. Not only at the Lido, but let's be honest, it's not cheap sometimes to go and watch. If even, for example, if you want to go and watch a premiere,
Mhm.
okay, or it's not easy to find the tickets, okay, but you can actually watch a movie in other part of towns, right?
Yes, that's correct. So normally I say the program is ready after the middle of August. So
Mm-hmm.
around the 20th of August, so you have the full vision of what will be happen in the city,
Mm-hmm.
and so you can buy in the Lido Island. So when there is a festival, so in the main hall they cost around 25 this year, if I remember well. But after the day after, the same film, the same movie are in other part of the Lido and in other part of Venice and Mestre.
Okay.
And for
At a much
example,
cheaper.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I pay 12 so
Okay.
for a movie, so that could be nice. And in Venice, this was in the Lido. In
Mm-hmm.
Venice and in Mestre, you pay something around 8
Yeah,
euro. Yeah,
eight
yeah,
to 10 euros. Yeah,
yeah.
but that's quite good. So it means that if somebody doesn't have time to go to the Lido or doesn't fancy the crowds, but still want to have a look on the first films that come along there, they can do it that way. That's very good.
Yes, and
Um,
an important thing to know is that the film are in original language with
mhm.
subtitles in the Italian and English. So even
Yeah,
if the film comes from China, for
yeah.
example, you can read the subtitles, so it's very easy to understand.
Yeah. No, that's one thing I always looked forward usually to the film festival for that reason, because at least once a year I was able to go to the cinema and watch a film in original language.
Yeah,
Because
I know.
unfortunately here in Italy it's not that easy, or at least in the province of Venice it's not an easy things to do.
No.
Since we're talking about cinema, we decided with Romena that we're gonna talk about films set in Venice. Your three picks, your favorite ones, and what were they?
It depends. So you know that in Venice, a lot of movies were filmed in the past years. I mean, since the
Mhm.
beginning when they invented that art.
Yeah. Well,
And
Venice actually, I don't know if you know, but you probably do know because you know everything about cinema. But I only discovered last year during a walk in the Giudecca that Venice had its own big film production company, as big
yeah,
as it was going to be as big as Cinecittà, and then everything got moved over to Rome in a way. But Venice was a center of filmmaking as well. I didn't know this.
yes, that's true because I think they start when Rome was under occupancy of the Nazis, and so
Yeah.
they decided to move in the north,
Uh
and
huh.
so they decided to use the Giudecca Island for that reason. So I say, and a lot of film were taken in Venice in the past year. So we have also a lot of tour guide that, if you want, they can take you to a little tour of the district. For example, nearby the Rialto Bridge, a lot of film were taken,
Mm-hmm.
departing from The Merchant of Venice, the famous one with Al
Mm-hmm.
Pacino, you know. And then there are little production, there are little movies that are taken in the same area of the Rialto Bridge, famous or not famous. One of the most famous one and recent is the Spider-Man.
Oh yes. Oh
And
yes.
you know, they pretty destroyed the city to film
Yeah,
the movie.
allegedly, yeah.
Yeah,
And it was rebuilt in a different way because I remember watching the film,
yeah.
and in the part where the Rialto, I spent a good 20 minutes stopping Netflix and going back and forth and thinking, is that building there? I don't remember it. Oh my God, I never noticed it. When I realized it was CGI.
Yeah,
That
that's
was
true.
fun.
But if you remember, there was a morning in which
Oh, yeah.
the Campo Santa Maria Formosa was pretty
Yes.
destroyed because they were filming over there. So
Yeah.
part is CGI, part was filmed in the city.
Yeah.
But you know, there are a lot of location, and sometimes when they come here
Oh,
for
sorry,
film, yeah,
Romana, one step back. When you say destroyed, as in people woke up in the morning and they found rubble everywhere, but it was obviously all fake.
yeah,
But from the
plastic
picture,
stuff. Or
yeah, of course, yeah. Let's make this clear before people start going up
oh,
in
thank
arms
you.
and saying, "Oh my God, they destroyed Dennis for a film." Okay, they did it.
No, that's not true. And you know that sometimes, yeah, as you say, you know, they put something in Venice that is not there, or
Hmm.
for example, they give a misunderstanding of the city itself.
Hmm.
If you remember the famous Indiana Jones,
Uh-huh.
it starts with a scene in the Campo San Barnaba in Venice. The church they used is still there.
Hmm.
We have the
Of
church, is
course.
a real church. They pretend it is a library, sort of
Hmm.
library. Nowadays, actually, it was never used like a library. It's a sort of, it was a church, and then is a place where they do exhibition.
Hmm.
So they use Venice like a scenery, no, just
A
landscape.
background.
Yeah,
Yeah, a
a
background.
background
Yeah. Well,
landscape.
listen, 007, the famous scene where the Canal Grande Palace was totally falling apart, and everybody was coming over to see where this palace was, and it didn't exist, so Yeah.
Yeah, that's
So,
true. And also, I have to tell you that the next film of Tom Cruise,
mm,
the Mission Impossible, wherever, I don't know the number they arrived,
yeah.
it was filmed in Venice, and it was filmed during the pandemic. So
Hmm.
it will, yeah, the city was used for that reason. Venice and Rome, I think, also.
Hmm.
And so we will see in the probably January, if I remember well, of the next year, they will be able to see on the movie theater.
So these are new films or fairly contemporary new films. What about old films from maybe 20, 30, 40 years ago? Anyone that you can recommend people to watch before they come?
Yes, there is this film that is very sweet, that is called Pane e Tulipani in Italian, so bread
Mhm.
and tulips, I think is the title in English, if you're able to find it. It's very, I say, it's a very sweet film. It talk about a lady that decided to quit the family, and
Mhm.
she found herself again in the city of Venice, meeting yeah, the person of the city, living the city like a Venetian.
Mhm.
So it's about
Where is this person from? She's Italian or she
she's
foreigner?
from the south of Italy,
Ah,
actually.
okay.
So the
Big
begin
difference.
yes, the beginning of the story is that she is taking a trip with the family and other friends, and they forgotten air and on the right on the autostrada, on the railway, yeah,
Motorway, on the motorway, yeah.
motorway, yeah. And so he take another bus, and the bus arrived in Venice at the end. And so she decided to start a new life in the city, and
Uh-huh.
for 1 month or two she was able to manage and meeting nice person and living nice experience.
Uh-huh. And what other film have you from the old days would you say is a must? I mean, I got a couple in my head.
What you have in the mind?
Well, first of all, well, they people cannot come to Venice and not watch Don't Look Now with Donald Sutherland.
That's
Uh,
true.
I think even now, after so many years, I never actually managed to watch the film as a whole. I always watch bits, so I know what the story is like, I know what the film is like, but I never managed to watch it all together because it's always so scary. And every time I see the red the little dwarf, so that's the end of it. So, but I think he's probably one of the, if not for, in my opinion, the best film ever filmed in
Family
Venice
in Venice.
because there is no CGI, there is no trick. It is Venice at its purest for me, and in black and white even better. So it's I don't know, it's fantastic. And another one that I really like is Anonymous Venetian
Yeah.
from the 70s or 80s, I think 70s, 80s. That's very, very good. Even though I did find some things that are not very good, because I remember a scene where we're supposed to go from the, I think it was a Giudecca, where the protagonist was living in what is now the exhibition, the photographic exhibition site of
Treoci.
Treoci. Yeah.
Okay.
And I remember them going on a gondola, sorry, on a boat ride of some sort. Maybe it was a gondola or a boat, whatever, I can't remember. And literally in 2 minutes, they were totally on the other side of Venice. At a trip on the boat takes about half an hour as a motorboat. So
Yeah.
definitely takes over an hour doing it.
It
So it's like,
happens in all cities when you film, that you cut and paste in
oh my
different
God,
way. Yeah.
the tourist. Oh my God.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was
yeah.
terrible when you can
Just
see.
jumping from the both side of the Rialto of the Grand Canal, so it's pretty
Yes,
impressive.
yeah. Or if you can see the airport, you can see Venice from the airport. Sorry, St. Mark's from the
Ah,
airport, but
yeah,
it's impossible because you're at the back of it, so it's not. I know
yeah,
it's all these little things that, but at the same time, is it makes people want to come to the city. So it's still very good. And then there is a film with Catherine Hepburn that I think
yeah.
is
The famous
inspired.
summertime, no, the
So
summertime.
yeah, so many ladies to come over and find the Venetian. And we got to say, ladies, being Venetians ourselves, we wish it was so easy. It is not. And we live here. Trust me, we live here. Okay, another passion of yours are books.
Yeah.
As in, you are, I mean, my mother is somebody that reads one book every 2 days, and I always found she's crazy. Uh, I mean, as in, she's amazing that she can do it. But you're along the line, aren't you? Because
No,
you
that's
can
not true.
spend one a week.
Yeah, one a week, yes, it could be. Yeah, because
Okay.
also I listen a lot of book on the application of the phone,
Okay.
so I
Yeah.
love to do also that. So when I walk in the city, sometimes I'm listening some book.
Yeah, but you because
So
you were explaining to me that you do because you do tours while you're waiting for clients, you maximize your time,
yeah,
right?
that's
Yeah.
true.
Okay,
And
that
also
makes sense.
taking boats and moving from one part of other of the city. It's
Yeah.
it's a good experience.
Okay,
And
so what books would you recommend to the listener to make sure they read before they come? And of course, you got to mention mine, but we talk about mine after.
yeah, for sure, I'll leave it
And
to
no,
you.
sorry, I was kidding. I was kidding. Go on.
No, I love to mix the guide and the history and the contemporary. So I
Mm,
have some suggestion for the people that are listening to us. So first of all, it depends if it is your first visit in the city or the second one, or if you are repeaters that come every year. I don't know,
mm,
but you can have a guide for sure, but I think that a good starting for a people is also the book of Tiziano Scarpa, Venice
mm-hmm.
is a Fish, no? Because
Absolutely.
Venice is a Fish give you an idea, a general idea of the city, doesn't guide you directly in a place,
Mm-hmm,
but he will explain you the feeling, the atmosphere of the city. They give you some interpretation what the Venetian they do, some interpretation of the city. So I think that for also for a first visit, but for sure for a second and third visit could be a good lecture to do before
mm-hmm.
coming in the city. And also we have to talk about the book of our friend Tosofei, Alberto Tosofei.
Absolutely. The books, because he's
Books,
got so
yes.
many out now, is I lost count of how many he's done. And I need to ask him to come on the show as well, but he's so busy, but let's hope.
Let's hope that he can do.
Yeah.
Most of the book of Alberto Tosofei are regarding mystery and legends of Venice, so they are very interesting because you can see the story from another side, not from big events, but from the little events that are part of the city. And
Mm-hmm.
that book you can use for going around. We do also some tours about that. You
Mm-hmm.
can use for going around and watching the palaces, watching the little square, the campi, in a different way. So I suggest to give a look to the book of Alberto Tosofei. Most of them are translated in English, so I
Yes.
think you have not. They are on Amazon. I
Yeah.
checked, so you know no problem to find that.
Mm-hmm.
And talking also to Alberto. Of Alberto, he just published a book about Leo Save Venice. It's a little book for children, so that
Mm-hmm.
could be a nice present for a children coming in Venice.
Mm-hmm.
And another famous book for watching Venice in a different way, for sure, is the one of Ugo Pratt, The Secret of Venice of Corto Maltese.
Mm-hmm.
This book is very famous. There are a lot of edition of this book. Also, the drawings are very, very nice. So that could be used like a guide. So going around with the book and discovering new things about the city.
Mm-hmm.
What to say, now the gondolier they have published
Their own book. Yes, I've
their own
heard.
book.
I
they are
know.
they are making advertising everywhere,
Yeah,
so
I
you can
haven't seen
find it.
it yet. I haven't seen it yet. So your honest opinion, they're not gonna listen to the podcast, so don't worry too much about it.
No, 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 no,
No,
no.
no. Your honest
I
opinion.
I don't buy the book,
Ah,
but I saw some in the library, and
mm-hmm.
I think is a good guide for a first visiting. For that,
Okay.
just for a
Mm-hmm.
first visiting, is a good guide for the city. So
Okay.
could be an idea.
Okay.
And
Okay.
what other to say? If you want to have a different view of the city and learning something different,
Mm-hmm.
one person that we know that is Joanne Giacomin
Mm-hmm.
published a book that is the title is The Little Book of Makeup
Mm-hmm.
of in Venice. That is another part of the history of the city because Venice has thousand of sorry uh, a thousand of things
Yeah.
connected with makeup and history. So
Mm-hmm.
it could be and it's very little book, so it's very easy to read also.
Yeah,
uh,
I'm actually interviewing Joanne in
you
the
see.
next few weeks. So yeah, yeah, she will be. I will
Yeah,
be asking her more in details about the book.
yeah,
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 good.
so you will learn
Mm-hmm.
from her. And I was telling you that I was just finishing a book before
Mm,
starting our call, and I have to say, it's one of the most interesting book I ever read about Venice.
okay.
The book,
Available in English too?
yes, yes,
Okay,
available
good.
in English because
Okay.
the book was published first in English,
Okay.
and then has been translated in Italian.
Okay.
So now you can find it. The title in English, the author is Robert Davies,
Okay.
the author, and the title in English is Venice, a Tourist Maze, a
Okay.
cultural critique of the world's most touristed city
Hmm.
by Roberts. So why I tell you that I learn a lot of things? Because is a book that spoke about the history of the city.
Mm-hmm.
I say from the beginning to until today, because there
Okay.
are some updating, and
Uh-huh.
it's very very interesting because I learn a lot of things about the city.
Okay.
For example, I read a lot of book, but I never know that Venice was the place where the pilgrims they depart from Venice to reach the Palestina, the Terra
Oh, you
Santa.
didn't know
Yeah.
that. Oh,
No,
right.
no,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, okay. I thought
Yes,
you
to
knew
reach the
that.
Terra
Okay.
Santa. And
Yeah, yeah.
since there was no advertising in Google or in internet, not that it was the departure,
Yeah.
they arrived. They arrived in Venice about 1-2 months before the departure because
Okay.
the departure will be in spring, so probably
But spring
no,
is 3 months
yeah,
long, so they
yeah.
didn't know
So
when in spring.
also the Venetian they didn't know. Probably they decided 1 week before or
But
something.
yeah, according to the
So if you
weather,
want,
to what we had to do with the ship and so on. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, of course.
So normally they arrived 1-2 months before, and what they do is to be tourists. Simple,
Okay.
very
Yeah, yeah,
simple
of course.
stuff. So there are people guiding, there are people explaining, like we do on our period,
Oh, right.
our
Okay.
moment.
So, well, the other day with Luisella, I
Gisella?
was saying that I read somewhere, and I cannot remember where I read it because I needed to go back and find it. But Venice was the city that invented the job of a tourist guide.
Yeah, that's true. That's
Because
true.
probably during this period, probably was it?
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah.
right. Okay.
There
See,
was
it's
that
all
person
connected.
offering services, guiding in the city, also helping to find that place or the other place. So
Gosh.
it's very very interesting, and
Wow.
also it speak about the gondolier, no? Because
Uh-huh.
we now we are the gondolier. We know that tourist stuff,
Yeah, of course.
but on the past time it was
No,
not
it
like
wasn't,
this.
of
No,
course.
in the past time they were part of the family of the worker in the
Yeah.
family.
It was a menial job, as far as I know. It wasn't a fancy, glamorous job like now, still
No.
hard, but it was I mean, because but we're talking about recently because, Ada, the lady that helped me write the book about
Yeah.
the Cicchetti, was married to a gondolier, and he was a gondolier until about the 60s, 70s. And
Hmm.
she told me that he worked very hard, but he wasn't glamorous at all. He was taking people on board, but he was also taking goods and
Yeah.
animals and stuff. It was just,
Luggages and
yeah,
that kind
they
of
were
stuff.
porters,
Yeah,
porters. They
right.
were
That's true
porters.
because they normal when we had the station or when the station of Venice, normally the people they move by gondola to reach
Hmm.
Saint Mark where there was the hotel. So it was not easy to row for that long ride
Yeah,
with
yeah, of course.
luggages, person, and that kind of stuff.
Ah, of course.
And then when we start having a water taxi, there will be a
Mhm.
big protest about that from the gondolier because
Of course.
they
Well,
they lose that part of their job, no? Because
of
there was the
course.
motorboat that goes faster, they
Yeah.
can take more people than the gondolas, no? And so it's only in that I say in the last 30 years
Mm.
that it became the job that now we know.
Yeah.
So it's not it's a tradition, but it's a tradition that has changing
Yeah.
during the time.
And I was reading somewhere years ago that, for example, we all know the iconic shirts on stripes. And ask any gondolier, and everyone's got his own version of why it's like that. But there isn't actually a real story, as far as I know. But it turns out that they start wearing them in the 60s after the film with Alberto Sordi came out.
Yeah, the one, the La Venezia, la Luna e tu.
Exactly, because it's back then that it kind of glamorized the job of the gondolier, and so they start wearing these shirts like they did in the film. But before that, they just wore normal. There was a uniform. I remember a black and white, no, a white uniform that was used in special
Yeah.
occasion, but otherwise they were just dressing normally. So it's really interesting how so many icon things
Yeah.
of Venice are actually fairly recent.
No, no, that's true. That is very interesting. And also, I not I when I was reading that book that I was suggesting you to read, I also discovered that the fireworks of the Redentore are pretty recent.
Oh, that one
Yeah,
I didn't know.
yeah.
Okay.
They say 1978. I have to
Oh,
check it out if it is true or
okay.
not. I think so. So these are pretty recent stuff. I was not imagining that was coming from the time of the building of the church, but I was
Yeah.
thinking about 2 century or
Yeah.
something. No.
So the actually celebration now is being for centuries and centuries, but the
Yeah,
actually
yeah, yeah. But the
fireworks were
fireworks
quite
show,
recent. Huh.
yeah, it's just yeah, modern,
Well,
contemporary stuff.
it's a bit like the Carnival of Venice. I mean,
Yeah,
the Carnival of Venice as a carnival, yes, is centuries and centuries year long. But the actual carnival, as the idea of a carnival as we have from in recent years, is more like it was born in the 70s again.
yeah, same.
And it lasted about 10 years and then it became touristic. So it's really interesting, isn't it, how people take for tradition something that maybe goes back only for a couple of generations.
That's true. That's true. That's
And they
really
go
true.
like, oh, no, no, we always done like this.
So if one here, if one here, we don't do the fireworks for any reason. So we are breaking the tradition. No, you are
Tradition, yeah.
breaking a recent tradition.
Exactly, it's like something from your maybe grandparents or something like that.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so interesting. Okay, any books that you're looking forward to read that are, when they're coming out and you haven't had a opportunity to see yet?
Yes, normally I read a book per month regarding Venice. So my next
Okay,
and always you can find in my newsletter, but at the moment it's only in Italian, so you have to improve that stuff.
yes, you do.
Yes, and I just brought some days ago a book about the family Stucchi. You know,
Oh, that's
Stucchi,
interesting.
they were the owner of the Molino Stucchi, now that
Uh-huh.
now is Hotel Hilton on the Giudecca Island.
Yeah.
And there is this book about the family, so I'm pretty
Oh, that
excited
was
to
gonna
start.
be very interesting because I remember last year, I think it was, I took this tour of a Giudecca where I learned
Hmm.
about the film industry, but that's where they talked to us about the story of a Stucchi family, and it's a very dramatic history,
Yeah,
and very dramatic and funny enough, very important history, story of a family and so on. That is not being talked about too much. And it's incredible how much the Stucchi family had such an importance for the Giudecca Island and for Venice itself, but they don't talk so much about it. Typical Venetians, they try to put under the carpet sometimes,
some stories.
yeah,
Okay.
some stories. Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be interesting. But maybe in the future, I can ask you for some more information about this. Okay, now, since you are a travel consultant, let's talk about traveling to Venice. uh, this famous tax that allegedly is supposed to be coming to place on the 1st of January. So, Romena, you got to know, guys, it's always on the ball, as they say, because whenever something like this happens, she's always, reading, calling the authorities, try to find out, try to keep up to date. I usually, when I hear things like this, I just go like,
Oh
well,
my God.
yeah, no, I just go like, yeah, well, let's wait and see. And I never believe it. I'm like St. Thomas's. I never believe it until I see it. Okay. Because so many times in Venice, promises are made and then nothing happens. So is it happening? And what do you think about it?
Okay, as you say, they will start at the beginning of the next year, and we have to say, just is just a tax for the people that are not sleeping in the city. So if you
Okay.
book an
So
hotel in Venice or in
you
Mestre also, or in the Lido Island, sorry,
even
Monica.
for one night, and
Yes, even for
all
one
the
night.
islands like Murano, Burano, all the
Yeah,
islands, let's
yeah,
say.
all the part Venice, Mestre, Lido Island, you have not to pay this tax because you already pay a city tax on the hotel, depending about how the hotel is. So 1 star, 2 star, 3 stars, and also.
Perfecto. So
So
as this aside, this is a tax only for day trippers.
yes, only for day trippers. And so if you are coming just for a day, you have to book your
Arrival.
presence in Venice.
Yeah.
You're arriving in Venice. There will be a sort of booking of that, and what will be happen is that you don't know how much you will paying, because the tax start from 3 to 10 euros. Okay,
Okay.
and it depends how the municipality of Venice think the city will be full of people or not in the day you are
Okay.
coming.
So it depends on the capacity of a city. So if there are a lot of people already in, you pay a lot of money to
Yeah.
have a privilege to get into the city. If a city is not so busy, they say, all right, come in for 3 euros,
Yes, that
more or
normally, as we
less.
say, if you come in January where there is nobody in the city,
Yeah.
so you'll
Yeah.
pay 3 euro. If
Okay.
you are coming in on the carnival period, for example, or during
Hmm.
the Biennale, probably you will pay 10 euro. The
Okay.
important stuff is that in any case, you are allowed to come in the city. So there will be no limits for that.
Okay.
Okay, you can pay 10 euro, but it can come, a million of people can come. There is no limit for that. So you
Okay.
have
I'll
not to
stop you
worry.
there. I'll stop you there.
Yeah.
So saying like this, and then we carry on. Saying like this, since this tax was supposed to be limiting the flux of people coming in, it's not actually doing that, is it?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
It's the
because
same question that yesterday I heard BBC due to our Simone Venturini. That
Turini,
is,
the
yeah,
counselor for tourism, yes.
yes. So the answer was that they think that the people coming and paying 10 euro, they will be more conscious
Ha!
what they are going to see, and
Okay.
probably some of them they will try to come in a different day. Uh,
Okay, so what he's saying is that paying 10 euros is going to put off people from coming into Venice
yeah.
in a way. Okay, right. I have my doubts on that, but okay, right. Never
Yeah,
mind.
so for
All
and
right.
the no, what do you say, if you come from the other part of the war, if you have to pay 10 or 5, I think it doesn't matter so much. It doesn't interest you so much.
Well, it
Probably.
does if you start having a family of 5 or 6, because
Yes, but it's
you're
just for
doubling
one
up.
day. Yeah,
Ah,
yeah,
yeah.
you're
Well, yeah,
true.
yeah. Of
But it's just
course.
for one day. Is
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. Of
you
course. Yeah,
will
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of
take
course.
yeah, one ice
Yeah,
cream less, but you will
yeah,
come
yeah. Of
in the
course.
city, no?
Yeah, but it's still not
Uh,
gonna limit the number of people. Okay.
yeah, the probably the more affected by the people more affected will be the Italians that can
Yeah,
decide where to come and where not, because they are
yeah,
pretty close to the city
yeah,
itself.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
that's they were trying to do, and also it will be a sort of yeah, contribution to the
Hmm.
maintenance of the city itself.
Yeah.
So like the
But
city tax
they
fees.
saying that they already have a tourist tax for
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's true.
Right.
That's
Okay.
pretty true.
Yeah.
My concern, and I think also yours, are that it's pretty complicated to
Yeah.
catch all the people. So,
Yeah.
so see, when you
Since
are in hotel at the
yeah.
checkout, you have to pay, or you have to, yeah, give the key back, and so you have to pay the city tax.
Yeah.
And since there are no gates for
Yeah.
coming in the,
Yeah.
for
No gates, and there are no police because even if something happens in Venice very badly, nowadays it's impossible to find a policeman. So my question is, how are they gonna check this?
no, they
You know,
they 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 d- they do- didn't they will not check, so they just pick up some person and ask for showing the receipt of the stuff.
my
At the
God.
moment, yeah, they will have a company that will do that,
Hmm.
but I don't know how many people there will be in this company, how they do that stuff.
And
Uh,
is this gonna be compulsory, or they said it's gonna be left to the goodwill of the people?
no, they say that you have to pay.
Oh, it's compulsory. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
they say that you have to pay in any case. The
Hmm.
problem is how they will be controlling that, because
Yeah.
at the beginning, if you remember, 3 years ago, 4 years
Yeah,
ago.
they put those
They,
stupid
yeah,
gates.
yeah, no, they tried to do that, but it was impossible.
Possible? Yeah.
And the second things that they try to do is to have agreements with the transportation
Yeah.
coming in Venice, for example, train, and
Yeah.
they say, okay, you pay the ticket of the train,
Yeah.
but and
With a
plus
surcharge.
you will plus,
Yeah,
but
with a
the train
surcharge. Yeah.
company, they say no, we cannot do that
Exactly.
because it
It's
will be
illegal. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Of
a
course. Of
job
course.
that we don't want to do in
Absolutely.
any
It's got
case.
nothing to do with them. We shouldn't have to do it. Oh my God. Va bene. That's another one of the things of Venice. We'll see. We'll see. I'm
Yeah,
very
yeah, it
curious.
will
And
be
I'm very also
yeah, me
curious
too.
to see for us locals, because of course this tax also applies to the locals, not locals, because the province of Venice, what we call now Metropolitan City of Venice, doesn't pay. Or is it the Veneto region? Was it the Veneto, maybe? The Veneto people don't pay?
Yeah, it will be the Veneto, but in particular days, Carnival, for example,
They will.
yeah, they will probably. Yeah,
Okay.
because they say if you reach that number of people that they don't know at the moment, so we don't have this number in our mind, you will pay the city tax.
Yeah. My question is, as usual, is for self-employed, because of course somebody that works in Venice as an employee can prove. Somebody is self-employed that has got a meeting with a client. How do I prove that? You know, think about it, and not just as guides and stuff, but even just a person that's got to go to a meeting in Venice. He's going for business. He's not going for pleasure. He's got to pay 10 euros to gain. It's subtle, very subtle, this thing. Oh well, we'll see. I was thinking of going to interview Mr. Venturini in the next few episodes if
Ah,
if he's going to agree. I have to ask him. I don't know if he's gonna say yes. He's still a small podcaster. You never know when he gets bigger. So what are your plans for the next few weeks then, Romena? Because we got so many events coming up.
yeah, that's true. So September and October normally are very busy moment for the city, because film festival is just finishing. But
Mm-hmm.
today they presented the Glass Week
Yep,
in
on the
Milan, and there will be
17th,
Milan.
isn't it, in
Yeah,
Venice? Yep.
yeah, there will be Milan first, and then Venice, and then at the end there will be the Cocktail Week.
Oh,
So
yes. That I'm
yeah.
going to interview in the next couple of days as
Ah,
well.
very nice.
Yep, yep.
So it will be very, very busy. So this season we work as me as a tour leader. We work a lot. We work a lot. In Fortunately, because we
Well, yeah,
arrived
after
from
two
two.
years,
Yes.
after 2 years of not working.
So probably September, October, they will be quite busy. I will go to vacation also, and a little vacation of 1 week. So I hope to come back and having already everything
Fully.
already planned for October. And
Yeah, fully recharged.
but I
Listen,
think that a lot of
yeah.
colleagues they told me that probably we will work all year round because,
Oh,
for
that's good.
example, yeah, I know I work also for the Orient Express train,
Yes, you do. Yeah.
and they are advertising in this day, and this is a news also for us, that they will do some journey
Winter.
during the Christmas time. Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh,
Yeah,
that's good.
normally it
That's
finish
good.
in middle of November,
Yeah.
but they are doing advertising for Christmas period. So
Oh, that's good. So
yeah,
try to bring people also during that period.
yeah, it could be
Good.
nice, no?
That's good. Right. Listen, Romena, where can people find you if they need to book a tour? Because you do food tours, but you also do welcoming tours, introduction to the city tours, and you also help people planning their stay in Venice. Where can people find you,
Yes,
as in a website and social media?
yes, they can find me on the website and on social media like Rom in Venice.
Also,
Um,
very easy. ROM in Venice, all one word, right?
Yes, so
Good.
everything is under that name, so you can find all the information. And my suggestion for the people coming for the first time in the city is really to contact me or other person, me first.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because living in the city, living the city for 1, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, if you are able to stay, you have to understand what you are visiting. And so I
Yes.
suggest you to ask information, to ask questions. Don't
Yeah.
be in a rush. Don't come just for one night, because in
Yeah.
one night you cannot experience nothing. You can go
Exactly.
to Venice, Las Vegas, it will be the same,
Yeah.
just visiting the main monuments, but the city is have a lot of things more than Saint
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah. It's
Uh,
to do a lot of research before coming. Simple as
Yeah.
that.
Do research, ask question, because we are here for answering the question, and be curious to learn new
Yes.
things. Yeah.
Absolutely. Also because there is so much to do in Venice. This podcast wants to do that to try to show people how much it can be done here. Romena, thank you so much. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna call you for some other episode to talk about a lot of other things relating to
I'm
Venice.
here.
Have a great night, because here this is we're nearly going to the evening here, and speak to you soon. Then, thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you, Romena, for being such a lovely guest and for all your insight on books and cinema in Venice. You can find Romena at www.rominvenice.com and on all social medias at rominvenice. Thank you again for listening. If you want to book a food tour or a cooking experience with me, you can find me on my blog www.monicacesarato.com or at cookingvenice.com, and also on all social medias with the handle at Monica Cesarato and at Cooking Venice. Feel free to leave a comment or write to info@monicacesarato.com for more information about the people featured in the podcast or Venice. Bye bye!